Passion, drive, and patience. The formula of winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything for you to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED lights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has it covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices that you want. It's easy to make your car the MVP it needs to be and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Again, ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Somebody's calling me, of course. Piss off, promoter. Gotta go.
Don't they know we're trying to do a damn show?
Promoter trying to mess my groove up. Piss on that.
Blasey, the one-man posse. Good to see you, JR. But this past weekend, damn, what a wild weekend. We broke a world record. I am
crazy,
still,
man.
I'm still exhausted from it. I know
I am
you
too.
are.
I am too.
My
I'm
Lord.
totally spent and same way. Like I'm excited we're doing our show tonight, but it's just like
hell yeah.
I'm still in a recovery mode. I just started getting my voice back today, and I've been scared to talk too much because I was afraid it was just going to crack and be gone again. You know, it was something, man. It was a grind. I've never done anything like that in my life. It was a solid 14, 15-hour day, and we were recording. You know, I felt like, oh my gosh, 4, 5, 7, 6, 7 hours that day, and then all the stuff in between, reset up, breakdown.
It was
kind of impressive that we pulled that off.
I think it was. We were very fortunate. Look, if those of y'all listening, appreciate you so much. But we talked about this while we were in the middle of it. God bless him. Bubba has just had issues lately with, with putting on shows and putting on these events and things. And we were able to fly right through there. Had a little adversity for a little bit. There was, it started threatening. It was thundering within look, if it was a PGA Tour event, if it was a college football game, they would have delayed the event. There was lightning within a 5-mile radius, even a concert. It would have been stopped.
We not a cornhole sauce.
Nope. And it's as afraid of lightning as both Blasey and I are. We pressed on. It was away from us. It was not a thing that would make you nervous. But
we also had a very quick exit right behind us. We were literally up against the outdoor pavilion awning. All we had to do is step back 5 feet, and we're under roof. But it passed. It was just about a 10 or 15, 20-minute little threat. Then it was gone. It was actually helped us, to cool things down a little bit.
And then it heated it back up, though.
Oh, my gosh. It was a hot day, buddy. That was a hot day. JR stopped by there for a few minutes.
He did, man.
He popped in.
He did, yes.
I sure
was
did.
Awesome.
It was easy to find. I'm glad. Good job on getting it out on all the platforms, so it was easy for everyone to access. I enjoyed it, man. First off, thanks everybody for tuning in this week to the Tigs Bits podcast. Good to have all y'all with us again this week. I know I've talked to some of y'all on and off throughout the week during this, like Blasey's talking about during the Cornhole Challenge. It's good to chit-chat with some of the Bubba Army while that was going on. But, when I first dialed in, Riley had the camera and was over ringside getting a match in, watching some small guy go to work. It was great. Yeah. Some good work in that match. I think the title holder took his title with him, and then I didn't even know who was on. I was trying to talk to you guys, but no one was saying anything.
Well, we didn't.
And then Riley gives you the phone, and I realized that was Riley the whole time. But he did good. Good job for him. That was great.
He did. Look, we've got to give a shout out to Blasey explain this process because that was it got sticky there for a minute with all of the at that point in time junior field correspondents. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, our junior field correspondents were there. Hey, they showed up early. They were there. They were eager. Everybody ready to go. We start going. We get some people throwing. They're out there retrieving bags. Then they're throwing a little bit. Like they're really engaged. That lasted for about maybe 45 minutes to an hour. And then the heat got on them. And next thing you know, we could not find our junior field correspondents anywhere. They were nowhere to be found. So we had to have a little bit of a come to Jesus meeting, like, hey guys, we're in a midstream here. We have a record to break today. And I ain't running back and forth every time we grab these bags. We're going to need all of y'all doing this. We need everybody. We need you up here. Somebody interviewing. We need you rounding up, signing up people. We need people going around, getting people to come out here, going out there, bringing bags back, all kinds of stuff, dude. We need all hands on deck.
All hands on deck.
So I came up with an idea. I said, Brant, I got an idea. I was like, we're going to go offer a promotion to the MVP of the day. There will be one person will be promoted to senior field correspondent. And it was great for about 15 minutes. And then the rhetoric started sitting in, like you heard the little rumblings. Hey, everybody know it's going to be Murphy. Everybody knows Murphy's going to get it. And then I felt like I caused more problems than I'd done good. It's like now everybody's thinking Murphy's just going to win it and going away because he's been on he's done stuff with us. So then I had to regroup, and I was like, all right, here's the deal. Unlimited promotions are on the line today. I need everybody today. All hands on deck. Unlimited potential promotions. I didn't mean you get one, but it's potential promotion. So everything changed right then. It took probably 2 hour mark, 2.5. Everything changed.
Oh, yeah.
They were engaged the rest of the day, and that really helped to keep this thing rolling along. So
we had to have it.
We did. And long story short, or the conclusion to this story, is Brantley and I on Sunday, we went down to the beach, and they were all down there. All our correspondents were there. And we got out in the water. Brantley and I got to talking. We had a little meeting out there in the Gulf, enjoying ourselves, and then came back on the beach. And we announced that all of our junior field correspondents are now senior field correspondents because they all came through. So round of applause to those guys, man. Absolutely could not have done it without them. Hale, Noah, Murphy, Riley. I mean, phenomenal job, man. Just absolutely outstanding. So, yeah. Anyway, congrats to those guys becoming senior field correspondents of the Tigs Bits podcast.
Yeah, I saw them all interlaid throughout all the videos, the live stream when I was watching. I was in Pennsylvania Saturday, so I was not at the event. Unfortunately, I wish I could have been. But yeah, when I was watching, I saw they were doing things and staying involved. That was great. And I love how they went and made. I love how you tackled Hal, and then they gang piled up on him after you had him down. I thought y'all were replaying President Trump's incident for a second there, where y'all took Hal down and covered him up.
Oh my gosh!
But yeah, I thought it was great. I thought the angles were great. I didn't get to watch as much of as I wanted to. I'm sure I'll go back and watch more of it this evening. But good job, everybody. Great to have a first event. Luckily, you guys didn't have weather to postpone or stop the event. I mean, the big elephant in the room here, we broke a record. I mean, Hal Later, fraternity brother of Blasey and I, Pi Kappa Phi Gamma Gamma pledge class, 95, 96?
Yeah.
Threw a 90.5-foot cornhole toss on camera. I'll let you guys explain more. I've been upset all day waiting. I wanted to spat out on Twitter and Instagram after you told me the deal about the record. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. But I don't know. Maybe we got some we got some fans with some deep pockets. Maybe somebody will see it through the line. Or we need about, 600 more people to sign up for Patreon in the next 3 or 4 days.
But, either way,
yeah,
we can.
But yeah, tell it, Blaze. Tell us how it went down.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, going into that. So first of all, we got really confident early in the day. So if we want to just lay this out from the beginning to our deal.
Let's just lay it out. Yes.
So was he our second, maybe third participant that came along?
It was the second or third. We were 12 minutes into the live stream.
Yes,
12 minutes.
He comes in here, and what's his name again? I forgot.
I think it was Mike.
Mike. Okay, yeah. He comes in his first throw. Because he said, can I warm up? I was like, no. Kind of reminded me of the Johnny Carson bit with Ed McMahon there. Like, no, don't waste any throws throwing over on the side. If you're going to throw to that board and let's try to make one. He said, okay. So he gets up there, very first throw, JR. All I see is it flying in, and I see it get right there at the front of the board, bounce, go in. Boom. He makes it.
Just immediately. With. Yeah.
We go nuts, man. You know what I mean? Like, we go nuts. I mean, we do a full – I feel bad we bring his family out there. His wife.
A full interview.
He thanks Tiger Woods. He thanks all these people. Like, it was unbelievable. And then suddenly, what happened?
And then you realize there are rules to throwing a cornhole that you can't bounce.
You know, and the chat chimed in. So shout out Bubba Army, because I know there was a ton of Bubba Army folks in that chat, and shout out to everybody. But then, you know, we got excited, and there, you know, we tend to get a little excited. And in the moment, we just saw, all I saw was it just drop, you know, I just saw the bag go in. And then as I'm thinking about it and I'm reading the chat, they're like, no, it hit the ground first. I'm like, okay, is that it can't hit the ground? No, it can't hit the ground. And I think Mike knew that, to be fair. I think Mike knew that the whole time, and because he didn't seem to be
that excited as we were.
Yeah. He wasn't, yes. He wasn't as excited as us.
You'd think we might have actually had the rules posted, or at least looked a quick scan over before we started this.
Well, after that, we did.
We live and we learn.
We did. Well, but I will say this. I honestly, as much as I was staring these things down, it's like, I don't know if I blinked when it hit the first hit, but when I saw it, I thought it hit the front of the board and slid in the hole.
That's what I kind of looked like it.
It was a very deceiving
where
bounce,
we were at,
because it hit the ground right in front and just eased up on the front of the board and just slid.
But
right
being
in.
a world record, you immediately went to the replay.
We got to go to the replay
after this excitement rush comes over. Then you're like, oh, okay, all right, we got to look at the replay. We got to verify.
As soon as I saw the ground, I knew that's not. Yeah. We can't validate this. It is not a throw. I mean, that's not a cornhole throw. I mean, much as I wanted it to be, because we were so excited. So that
it's kind of like, you know, if it hits the front of the board and is somewhat on the board, you know how you do that. You pick up the front of the board, and if it falls off, it doesn't count. If it stays on the board, it counts.
I did not know that.
Some of the guys in our bunch, we've been playing for a couple years out on the road, and a couple people take it real, real serious. Like one of them in particular could probably play on one of these. He's one of those amateur type guys that could, kind of like you, Lacey. If he likes it, he'll get good enough at it to compete for real. And there's no messing up the rules. Moore's the only one that gets any leeway. He steps over the line half the time. Nobody ever says anything to him because he's drunk. Nobody wants to hear him.
I don't want to even go. The juice ain't worth the squeeze, is it?
But anyway, so that's the only reason I know, because I don't participate in the cornhole normally, because, like I mentioned to Tig Nasty during the chat, my shoulder gets sore, and I had rotator cuff surgery a few years ago, and I ain't trying to wear that thing out. When I kept seeing you early in the day, Heavem, I said, I know Blasey's a gamer, but, buddy, he's going to be icing and have to icy hot that thing by the evening, I bet.
Oh, my God.
Well, it wasn't my arm or my shoulder. It was my hamstring.
From the lunge, trying to lunge it that far?
Just trying to drive, you know what I mean, and turn and rotate. That's what.
Because it's not a cornhole toss at 90.5 feet.
No, it's how far can you throw a beanbag is what that ends up being.
It's almost like shooting a 3-pointer in a high school gym, which all of us have done, and thinks, oh, well, that's a good long shot. Go to an NBA arena and shoot behind that line. I've played in several NBA arenas over the years, and even we could play Rupp Arena one night and think, oh, yeah, I got my jumper's still there. I can still hit a few threes. Then we go play at the Denver Nuggets arena or Memphis Grizzlies arena the next night. It's couldn't hit it. Heave, like you're saying, Blasey. It was all. I mean, it's not a shot at that point. It's a full body heave.
It is
for me, because I'm not a professional athlete. You know.
Yeah. Well, I'm not either, and I'm not a spring chicken either. So
same, yeah.
Blasey exactly. made amazing throws, though. Don't discount it. When we were setting everything up right at the very beginning, the first throw Blasey made when we had cameras on, not recording. We're setting up. Blasey
we're just testing out camera angles,
testing it out.
He was behind the board,
behind the board, bam, he throws one, and it just hit right in front of the hole about, a half an inch, and it bounced over the hole. The front end, touched the inside lip. The back end touched the back end of it, but it just kind of and ricocheted off of it. Scooted over it. And
so you think at that point you're like, oh yeah, we're gonna bag this thing in the next minute.
This is happening. This is happening.
And then we get going, and 12 minutes into it, bam, I'm like, this shit.
And then a little fatigue starts setting in, so all those motions you're doing are a little more animated because you're trying to compensate, because that first batch of just raw energy and fresh muscles is gone at this point.
That's right.
Gosh, that's when it got just really serious. Later on, like it's because we got plenty of people coming out. People are making good throws. They're either hitting the board or threatening to hit the board, which is they're getting the distance down. Like, hey, we're getting bags in the air. Everybody's fresh. We're all throwing a little bit. But then, you move into that thing and things change. But as we're moving into that, I think Tigs ought to tell us about his throwing experience. Like,
there will be a video of it. I haven't got to that.
Did you pull a hammy?
No, I didn't. I just made I think I made the 8 worst throws of the day easily. All 8.
You made the worst throw of the day. I don't know about all 8. Like, no, it wasn't that bad. Your throws weren't that bad.
The last handful weren't terrible, but
that one throw
so
was hands down the worst throw of the day.
Easily. Now,
so Tigs is not going to throw out the first pitch if we get invited to the Savannah Bananas baseball game?
I'll throw a damn fastball right down the middle. Don't. This ain't the same.
Okay. He was trying to hold it funny. And
I was trying to hold it funny.
Some Marty Smith type stuff,
Yeah, Murphy got in my head because he had been trying a long time, and he's like, Tigs, this is how it's going to work. You got to hold it on this corner, and then that's going to be the way. And I went, all right, so I tried that overhanded. That was the one that slipped out and went like about 3 feet to the right. Looked like my drive is what it looked like.
A worm burner. That's what I was going to do on the
worm burner.
Boom.
Yeah, and then I went, all right, well that doesn't work. So then I decided to do it then I did that one overhanded and it slipped out. The next one I tried to go overhanded, flip it up, and end up throwing the bag behind me. And and like it literally landed further away from the hole than it began, like by a lot. It started 90 feet and 5 inches from the hole, and it ended up 114 feet away from the hole. And poor Lacey had to go up on this lattice work and get a ladder.
Pergola to get up there. It's like 12 feet in the air and had to work it through the little tiny holes. And
my God.
I think there's a video of that out there somewhere too. So
there is. We did it live while we were going. I have found that. It was hilarious. So yeah, your boy made some terrible throws, but I also was saving. I don't think I have a shot of making that, but I could reach the board. But I don't know if I could reach the board after about 30 shots. I mean, I think I had about 30 left in me, and I was saving it for the end of like, oh my God, we haven't broken this. It comes down onto me. We're not going to break it, but there were arms were starting to go down around the time that it was finally broken. Fatigue had set in to their lovely props. Fatigue had set in with several of the contestants, and we had there was an entire wave of people about to come in right when it was broken. So I still feel
coming
confident
in for wrestling. Yeah,
that's right. I think we would have had a little bit more, but we're getting ahead of ourselves here. But
backing up a little bit.
Yeah,
when we were getting worn down, and we were it's mid-afternoon. I thought there was more going on up here. It was just us. And they're getting ready for wrestling, and there was a birthday party for wrestling going on too. So everybody was here at this little kid's birthday party for wrestling. So we're kind of running out of people. I'm starting to hurt already. This is only like 3:00. I was like, I'm hurting. Like my hamstring's hurting, going up into my left glute here. I was like, guys, I'm gonna throw some more, but it's gonna get worse. And these 4 absolutely wonderful young girls showed up. They were just from a 12U World Series. Had just won softball World Series tournament, and they walked up just to see what was going on. And man, they saved the day for like 45 minutes solid. And they were making great throws, having a big time. And man, we all got to take a break a little bit, and it was just perfect timing to keep that thing rolling. Otherwise, we'd just been kind of sitting there. What was that? Chloe that almost made it, or was that?
It was Chloe that almost made it. That made the first one. She made. She's the one who hit the board. I think there is a video out right now on socials, and at this point, when you're listening to this, go check out our socials. That's what you're going to see from us this week. Is all kinds of footage at Tigs Bits Podcast. You can go watch this event. It's still up on our YouTube channel at Tigs Bits Podcast. So. Or go to tigsbits.com and it'll take you everywhere else though too. But yes, it was Chloe who made that first throw that kind of came in, and it was almost as good as the one that was made. It came in on a similar trajectory, if you will.
Where were they? Where were they? 12U Florida, 12U, or
12U Florida.
They're
down in Florida. Yeah,
they had some arms. Chloe and Ellie.
I was going to say, I bet a good pitcher, an outfielder that's been playing a tournament, good strong arm. One of them girls probably had a good shot at getting it.
Third base and shortstop is what Ellie played, I do believe, and she had. Yeah, she had a Tom Brady arm.
She had to bring it back some. She had to dial it in. There were several times she was sailing it over our camera. She had to pull back. Yeah,
nice.
But yeah, they almost made it. I think it was Chloe. It was either Jay or Elise. No, it was Jay or Chloe. But it hits hole high right next to the hole. I mean, literally one bag over, and this thing's over with.
It's over with. Yep,
it was that close.
And this is what time? What time? And
this is probably 3:45, 4 o'clock.
Yeah, somewhere right in there.
Yeah,
the absolute heat of the day. Shout out to Amanda and to my wife Tammy.
Yes.
Michelle, right? Is it that her name there at Props?
At Props, yes.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
And Michelle with the idea of these boys need an ice bucket of bar towels.
Yes.
So they brought that out around the time these girls start throwing. Then they bring this out. We're about to die over there. And I mean, Lacey's like, we start talking about taking 15-minute break. Somebody go inside, cool off. We're starting to plan this and got that towel. I went, oh, hell no, dude. We got this.
The towel kept us out there. We're just have to start rotating. We're going to rotate or die. I mean, something had to change. Bad. Something had to change. Something had to give.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, I can't say I forewarned y'all that all this was probably going to go down. I knew there was going to be some unbuttoned ends, but that's okay. I'm loving that y'all's first day in real show business was just like everyone else's, a learning experience, but a success.
There's a lot we won't do
in the long
There's a
run.
lot we won't do the same, but there's a bunch of it that we absolutely will triple down on.
Well, there's just so many things you don't even think about going into it. You just don't even think about it. Unless you have a punch list or you do it on a regular basis, why would you think to do that?
It just comes upon it, and you're like, oh, we need this now. I mean, we were battling. First of all, the internet here was phenomenal. I had a 150-foot cable. I had some extensions too, but this 150-foot cable, we ran right out of the router modem, out the back door, ran it around. I ran it up on some awnings. We ran it up high. We ran it through the pergola down to a post just out in front of us so we could get really good connection from the board camera and us. Beautiful connection. I even got a compliment here from my buddy Grant, who's an electrician. He was like, I will hire you any day of the week to run some temporary wiring. He said, I saw that the other day, and I was super impressed on how y'all ran that wiring the other day.
It was out of sight. Nobody, you couldn't even
not
see
one person's going to trip over it or deal with it. Yeah, so that was great. But there were other things we had to deal with. I was trying to get power. The power wasn't working out there. They were on like a sensor. We had to get that going. Then I got to one plug, and plugs were like 10 feet in the air and giant full of wasp nests when I opened it up.
Oh, yeah.
Had to go get some wasp spray. Just stuff you're not anticipating, and it's just slowing you down too, and you're hot, and it's killing you. You know what I mean? You're just dying, moving a ladder around. Like we were exhausted by the time we got set up.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh my
We've
God.
been there since 7. Like, and thank God that we did. Like, just it
all
took
those basically from 7 a.m. until literally go time at 1:30 to do all that. Yeah.
Yeah. Just a damn cornhole toss. But
we're gonna reach out and get you'll have some more adult interns there next year, I'm assuming.
For sure.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah. But we got what we paid for.
Podcast.
You know what I mean?
I'm sure there's some Bubba Army in driving distance that would love to have come and hung out and helped us sign up.
We had some. Awesome. Shout out to Chris. He shot us a DM on Twitter and told us, "Hey, my wife and I are going to be coming, and hope to see you guys there." And sure enough, he lives in Milton, Florida, about an hour and a half away, hour and 20 minutes away from Props Brewery. That shows you how damn strong Bubba Army is. What's his handle in the chat, Blacey?
His handle, I believe, is "My Wife Hates Bubba."
That's it. That is it. Yeah.
And his wife does hate Bubba, and it's great.
Does.
She was there. She was supporting the whole deal, though. But their little dog had a little Bubba Army.
Nice.
little bandana.
What do you call those little things? No, it's not. It's like a harness.
Like
yeah,
harness.
Like Bubba Army harness. Little crazy little tiny dog. I forget what those things are called. But yeah, no, they were awesome. It was so cool that they came over there. He grew up in Tampa, lived there his whole life, but moved here recently. But it's in Bubba Army forever. So that was so cool. He just rolled up here.
Cool. Yeah.
Just to say hello, hang out for like 30 minutes, and that was it. I just wanted to come say hey. So
that's right. That's right. They said it got a little hot, and they hated that they missed they saw later on that the world record did get broken. Oh, it's like, look, it was hot. It's like, you're telling me. I wanted to escape that thing by about 2. We started at 1:30. It's like, oh my God, what are we doing?
I did walk inside. I think someone there, I went through like a brief moment of like, I don't even know what it was, but I walked in here straight up, Brantley, and I walked inside to get something, and I just stood there for a minute, just looked at you out from inside to outside. I stood there for probably 10 minutes, and I was just like, I don't want to go back out there. It's too hot, man. What if I just go home? I think he can handle it on his own.
He's got it.
You can do this, buddy. No, but I bowed my neck, went back out. That's when I started coming up with the idea of the 15-minute intervals. I mean, I was dying at this point. It was dying.
We had to figure something out.
Massive headache. I was just, I just wore myself down. Like, it was just, I was trying everything. I'd hydrated.
What if this thing would have gone like? I mean, it got. And Blasey probably hasn't got there, but the chat that was listening, they know whenever during that time period when Blasey was inside, I began to have doubts that this was going to happen. That was the first time that doubt started to kind of creep into my mind a little bit. And like, we got to start thinking what we're going to do. I don't see enough arms because I'd just gone inside prior to that and went to the bathroom and I scoped out the place. And I'm like, crap, everybody that's in here is thrown. Like I didn't see anybody else. I think I made a big announcement like, hey, y'all come throw out there. And then I walked out or something, and like, oh, I don't know, hoping people would show up. But those girls, they walked up not long after that, those towels. And then we began what I would call the power hour and a half from about the 3-hour mark of that show until the close. It was just one event after the other that happened, including President Trump being shot at an assassination attempt.
Yes, that was really bizarre. That was a weird moment, man. You're sitting there and somebody's telling you behind you, "Hey, I heard there's been an assassination attempt." I'm like, "What?" Like, what? What's like, So then we kind of pulling away. We kind of. As we should, we kind of just halted for a minute. We're chatting, but what we started reading kind of quickly was like images of him with his fist in the air, with some blood on his face. But like, okay, he's okay, but we're still like, what happened? How'd this happen? All these questions. But as Brantley pulled us back in, it's like we're not going to get these questions answered in the next 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, let's just focus right here.
We got a world record to break.
He's not
yes, he's
seriously
alive.
Injured at all. He's fine. Like, so I was like, okay, let's just keep going. So that's what we did.
This will be
but it was kind of strange. It was kind of weird.
Guys,
it was a weird vibe.
Crazy enough, I was 30 minutes from where that went down Saturday.
That's what I was thinking.
That's right. I was in Russellton, Pennsylvania, which is about 30 minutes from Butler, PA, where all that went down. I was in catering when we heard, and I was like, huh? And before one of the promoters I was sitting with got a text and said, shots fired at Trump rally. I'm like, what? And then I'm looking on CNN, Twitter, or CNN, on the news thing, nothing. Go over to Twitter, nothing. I guess this guy was there. Then a couple seconds later, then we start seeing all the stuff on Twitter, which Twitter did a better job getting on it on the horse sooner than any of the major news outlets did. I don't know if they were waiting for the angle or what. I think they were all just waiting on what to say or what to do.
CNN said first that Trump fell down.
Tripped and fell off. I'm like, good Lord.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so that's, you'll this will be one of those things, we'll always remember where we were.
We've got it documented live.
Like
you can
watch
that part of it.
Yeah, so we had to do the same thing. We're like, man, this is crazy. All right, we've got the opening act is on stage right now while this is going on, So I'm like, we got to, there's, 5, 6, 7,000 people out there. We can't let disarray happen. We got to keep the train rolling and get everybody back in the zone. So luckily Brantley was there. He turned into Brantley for a minute, or I don't know. I did.
I did.
Was it Brantley for a minute?
There was. I think Brantley was there most of the day. Really,
most of the day. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So
Tiggs showed up. Tigs, not Corn Dog, never showed up this weekend, which was surprising. Maybe a little on Friday, but not. Subdued Corn Dog showed up on Friday night's pregame chat. But no, it was Tiggs and Brantley all week. It was too damn hot to get too damn loose. You know what I mean?
Yep. I know the feeling. Yeah.
But at night, it got better. The wrestling event, I had a blast.
Oh yeah,
that's why I like working at night. So you realize, all right, we're not getting these answers in the next few minutes. We've got to focus back in on this world record. We've got athletes here. We've got people. We've got support. We've got live streams going left and right. We've got people in the chat engaging.
Here's what was going to happen, JR. This is what was going to happen, and I saw it as clear as day because I could hear the chatter behind me, and I'm like, if we engage in this right now, and that's what we talk about, then this whole deal we're done. The show is over. We're going to basically, this show turns into us covering something that we have no idea whatsoever about. We're not been watching. We're not there. There's no boots on the ground. Every bit of information we would be getting would be from a chat or from something other source. And then that's where it just gets confusing. And no one then wants to come and participate in trying to break their arm and throw a cornhole.
Or party in general. The whole vibe of the party.
Before.
Yeah, the whole vibe of the party kind of dissipates. Everybody's talking about that. Everybody leaves and goes home early once the party dies.
That's right. That's right. So, I mean, it was just a quick decision of like, let's just keep this show rolling. There's more to come. Now, had it gone the other way, I don't know what would have happened, but I got a feeling we would have probably shut it down.
I go ahead and tell you, we would have shut it down.
We would have addressed it. It's nothing.
Tragedy. There's just
I
can't keep throwing a cornhole bag if that
all that's gone down. It would
be
just been weird. So thank God that it didn't. No matter what way you think or what side of the aisle or whatever, thank God that didn't happen because that would have been a dark day in American history.
Oh man, that's the last thing we ever want to see again in this country. I don't care. Democrat, Republican, whoever, that is horrible. Like, no, we don't ever need that ever again.
Yeah, but we got through that. That was a little speed bump. And you know how long after we found out? Do you know how long it took to break the record, JR?
Couldn't have been long.
8 minutes.
Half an hour.
8 minutes.
I thought it was like 19. Was it 8?
It was 8 minutes from the time that we found out that the chatter began.
Wow.
Until it was broken. 8 minutes.
That's amazing. And that's that's when our buddy Hal there, JR, been throwing already. And then I turned to him. I really did. I was like, and there's a moment in there, you can probably back up. It may have been the set before or somewhere. I walk up to him. I forgot I had the mic on me. And I just walked up to him. I thought I was having a private conversation. And I was just like, Hal, buddy, I really need you. Like, I need you, man. Because I knew my hamstring was done. I knew when I planted and tried to pivot, I was overthrowing. Then I pronated. I was overturning and just trying to get enough on it. I'm turning too much because I'm throwing underhanded. And I threw it up on top of the pergola, but down there next to the hole. But it's just like I'd lost all aim.
Yeah, he was not the last few shots. Like he was going to need 2 or 3 hours to rest before I think he could have thrown more.
And you reached back in the back of your mind and remembered Thrill Hill and said, "Brother down. I need help up his hill, Hal. I need help up his hill, Hal."
That's exactly what I told him. That's exactly what I said. I need you, buddy. I need you. I know you can do it. Come on. And man,
and Hal was an athlete too. Hal was a hell of an athlete back in the day. We're all middle aged now, so you can't tell looking at us. And I'm not picking at Hal because I ain't never looked like an athlete. I didn't have a 6-pack when I was playing all year long. But Hal was a gamer and still a gamer. A lot of our boys, a lot of Brantley, you know how it is. You're one too.
Oh, yeah.
Most of us, that former athletes, you can get us back, ain't as good as we once was type thing. But we still got a little game in there. A little challenge comes up. And everybody likes to look good in front of a crowd. So, Hal, Santa Rosa's finest, baby. Came from the pride of Freeport, Florida. Came through in the clutch with a 90.5-foot toss, and man, it looked great on that. He used his form. He looked good. Had his shirt. He looked like $1 million. I thought it was just great. Just great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as it came off his hand, it looked that good too, JR.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
and
you can hear calling that thing too. It would just look that good when it came off his hand.
Yes. And he walked. I bet he did a little shuffle over after. Boy, you couldn't tell him shit after that either.
Oh, my God, no. He said he was leaving, like the wrestling started at 7. We had it that was about 5:15 or whatever when it happened. We're like, it was cool. We it was about 5:45, wasn't it, when it happened? Yeah, because we went till 6, and we shut her down at 6.
I think it was 5:34.
Something like that. That's right. That's
like
right.
5, yeah.
I mean, it was like 18 minutes or so after the attempt, but we didn't learn about it until 10 minutes after the attempt. And
You're
then
exactly right.
Exactly
right. Yeah,
that's kind of that timeline. But yeah, we would not. He kept coming back. We're set up for wrestling. We're getting everything ready to go. He kept coming over to visit with us, and then finally we're live on wrestling at this point at 7. He still hadn't left. I think they finally kicked him out because he didn't have a wristband. He's like, well, hey guys.
I'm the champ.
Well, they tried to pull him into the wrestling.
Oh, yes.
To be part of it. And that's when he super balked, because that guy was trying to set him in a chair. He's going to set him in a certain spot. He said, hey, I'm going to come in and I'm going to come off the damn top ring up there and crash down on you, and kick you. That's what he wanted to give him a stiff boot.
Didn't Hal offer it? Didn't he start? Yes.
And then the guy accepted it. He said, I'm going to kick you in the face. I mean, and he planned the whole thing and showed him how he's going to do it. And Hal's like, oh, man, you know what I mean? Hey, listen, I just think I got to get on out of here. Like, Hal knew he had already done too much. He wanted to stay, but he didn't want to get kicked in the face. And he was like, these guys hit each other hard, too. They didn't
laying their stuff in, laying it in stiff. I love it. Working stiff, as they say. Working stiff. Guns.
Hey, before we're into wrestling, but one thing I was going to mention on that, when Hal broke the record, as soon as he takes off, he kind of walks off to the left, kind of goes off camera. Of course, I mean, I didn't say stay on camera. We weren't thinking about that.
No.
And I took off running out from behind there where I was sitting, and I come flying at him. There's a picture of Boris Lee. He was a linebacker at Troy. So he's flying in the air at this quarterback. I see Hal make eye contact. He sees me. He thinks I'm coming in a chest bump. I ain't coming in a chest bump. I'm fixing to fly, and you better catch me. And then Hal kind of was, he'd already leaned for a chest bump, and Hal's like, and I realized midair, I'm like, oh my God, he's ready for me. And dude, I just come down on him. He just collapses, and we go to the ground, and then that's why we loop around. That was funny, man. That was a great little ending there.
Somebody said on
that's
TikTok.
That's what happens when you call it in the ring.
That's right.
Wasn't no pre-planning on that. We're just going to call it in the ring. Call it on the field.
That's
exactly what we
call
did.
It as we see it. Yeah, that somebody on our TikTok saw one of the short clips of that we put out, and they said, slowest reaction time to a major event that I've ever seen. But I'm like, what they don't understand is we had to run around a table.
I love a great deal just as much as the next guy, but I'm not going to crawl through a bed of hot coals or go out of my way just to save a few bucks. And if I am, man, it's got to be easy. No hoops, no BS. So when Mint Mobile says it's easy to get wireless for $15 a month with the purchase of a 3-month plan, I'm going to call them out on it. Turns out, it's really that easy. It's that easy to get wireless for $15 a month. The longest part of the process was the time I spent on hold waiting to break up with my old provider. That's a nightmare. Wish everything was as easy as Mint. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk-to-text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. You can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your old phone number with you, along with all of your existing contacts. To get this new customer offer with your 3-month premium wireless plan for only $15 a month, you must go to mintmobile.com/Bubba. That's mintmobile.com/BUBBA. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Bubba. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower on 40 gigabytes on unlimited plans. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
What makes a life a good one? Is it the adventure you have? Or the friends you find along the way? Maybe it's pursuing your passion while striving to protect, defend, and save what you believe in every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? In the Coast Guard, we think it's all of the above and more, but you'll have to find out for yourself. Visit gocoastguard.com to learn more.
To get out there, and then you couldn't see, like, we were all right there. You just missed the first 3 seconds of
And Amanda had the wherewithal to at least grab this same stand and camera right here and twist it after she take us all run over there. So you'll notice right we're there that she twisted a little bit, which was
perfect.
Great.
Good job, man.
Great thinking there. So we get most of it. You can see me coming in tackling, but no,
the tackle.
Hal ran off to the left. He started going over to get him a hamburger or something. I don't know, right towards the food truck.
He's going to do a little dance. So we had something free to eat.
Yeah, we had to chase him down and bring him back into the middle of the whole ring. Yeah. So it was great, man. And Brantley with a call at the end, nothing but
I love it.
And then I'm thinking, like, right after I said that, and you could see it on my face, I thought, oh, crap, we had just gone over all of this, that we'd had to do an instant replay to verify all this. But I was like, I saw it with my own eyes. I watched it. That thing touched nothing. It just went straight
but the bottom of the net.
It was nothing but the bottom of the net.
And he was probably almost a foot behind the line when he threw it, too. That's a good thing. There's no even debate there. Everything's great.
All right, so the next thing is what everyone's been asking since this. We broke the world record. It's on camera. Hal Laird from Freeport, Florida, broke this world record. But the big question everyone has is now the Guinness Book is the wherewithal, the go-to for world records. They've been the established world record since, and it was the Guinness beer people who started this.
Right.
I can't remember the story on Guinness. I actually watched this not so long, but anyway, they've been the definitive record-holding book for years. I mean, a century maybe or more,
forever. So
we reach out like a professional entertainment company and podcast would, as we are here at Tigs Bits Podcast, world record holding, award winning podcast, Tigs Bits Podcast. Now we got the world record. Now we just got to win an award. We reach out to them, and the response we get back is they want to grease us for $16K to get our name in the book. Minimum. To get our name in the book.
That's a starting price.
Unbelievable. $16,000. They did none of the work
in their book.
Now, how is that? So, all right, I go out and I have on national televisions, I do more jumping jacks than have ever been done in a row. They're not going to give me the title. I've got to go pay them $16,000 to get I thought it was the other way around. I'm the champ. I get some money and some free stuff now.
You guys saw it. So Guinness, come over here and award me. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna. The Army's not done with this. Everybody's gonna chime in. We're gonna work around. Somebody knows somebody that was got a cousin that works over there or something. We're gonna figure out. If not, we're gonna expose them for a racket. It's a payola scheme. This is murder in Music Row all over.
It really is. Or maybe something's born out of this, even more beautiful. Maybe it's time somebody give Guinness a run for their money.
That's
exactly. Tig Bits World Record books.
Yeah, I'm
Tig Bits
Book of World Records.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Tigs books. Yeah, Tigs Bits.
You're thinking.
Or Tigs and Bits.
I had it. Book
Tigs
of Records.
and Bits, as Bubba calls us.
Book of Records.
Yes.
Bubba started the Sunday podcast that he and Seth did, which was phenomenal, by the way. It's tremendous. Which I'm loving. I side DM Seth. I'm loving all this extra content he's been rounding up lately. I know we talked about him and one of the barbers last week, and then his solo he did, and then this one he had Bubba. But they started the show, Tigs and Bits, world record break, blah, 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 that we got an event in. They kind of said that because they didn't get their event in. But maybe that Bubba world record book, I don't know. Something there. I mean, it ain't like we couldn't afford it if we wanted to, but that's just a racket. I mean,
why would I go buy a car to verify something that I watched with my own two eyeballs?
And if we're going to pay $16,000, we're going to go put that I was the greatest basketball player, Lacey's the greatest lover, and Tiggs is the tallest guy ever born.
Yeah,
and we just gonna be able to pay for what we want. I'll just pick something else I want to be the best at.
Yeah, you can just go with that. So I mean, what it is to me is it's a slap in the face. Number one, number two. Complete insult to the work that goes into any world record attempt that has ever been done. Like, I think it's all a bunch of bullshit now. I don't believe whatever that world record is. Oh, so you paid for it?
So you don't have $16,000 to prove it. Who actually has the record? Like, you know what I mean?
That's what I want to know.
That's why I had to seek this out. So I saw. So if you ask Guinness, if you talk to Guinness will tell you it's 70 feet and like 78 feet and 6 inches. But there's this guy named Cornhole Cowboy in Texas on video will tell you it's 85 feet. And then there's these guys right here with Tigs Bits that's going to show and tell you and prove by video evidence, because we even did a video on measuring it and everything, that it's 90
we got
feet,
it.
5 inches. And to me, us and the cowboy guy, those are the kind of people. Those are the real records. Like that's
and we've got,
real
and y'all have
records.
a minimum of what 20 witnesses watching this as it goes down.
Gosh, minimum,
at
probably
least
way more than that.
That were paying attention.
50,
30, 40, 50 people paying attention.
Plus 100
down.
people online.
The camera
at
never
the time.
moves. The lines are painted. I show you where I measure the line. I mean, we did such a good job of
I thought
setting
you did
it
a
up
great
and
job.
everything.
Yeah, there was no way not to know this was legit, legal.
Maybe we need to start going and being the adjudicator for other people.
That's what
and
I
we
think
charge them way less, just maybe some appearance fee. You know what I mean?
Beer and tacos,
we go
man.
there, we coach them through it. Maybe we just do a live stream. We tell them to set up cameras. Hey, show me measuring from here to here. Okay, I see the measure, and I believe you. Hey, you got it, Brantley. JR, you believe him? I see it. There is video evidence. Now do this, X, Y, and Z. Now go for it. And we'll sit there and talk them through it, and we may even do a live stream sitting at our house or on site. And we'll be the adjudicator. It'll be the Tigs Bits book of records. You know what I mean?
I like it.
We're a hell of a lot more fun.
Yeah, it'd be fun, engaging, not all stiff and stuffy. I'm an adjudicator from London.
Oh, I'm from London. I'm from London. Yeah.
Well, I'm an American
who cares?
from Alabama, and
we're the winners here.
Adjudicate over here. I'm gonna show you how we adjudicate with a live stream.
Right. I think. Hey, any Army, y'all. Anybody that knows anybody has anyone ever y'all. Send us a message on socials to the podcast sites. Has anyone ever heard of this? Has anybody else ever heard this? Does anybody know anybody that has a world record? Has anyone ever heard a story on this or saw a documentary on anything? Or is this something we're about to expose the world to, that the Guinness Book of World Records may be just a damn money racket?
It is now. I think it probably wasn't.
This may be the Cash Box magazine of world record books.
I think it was something that they used for advertising, because I've seen that documentary that you were talking about. I know what you're talking about, and it's kind of like a promotional tool.
It is. It's name, image, and likeness. That's what you're paying for when you put your name on it. There's no more books to sell, because I used to have I got the 1984 Guinness Book of World Records. I've got the 85. I got the 86. I got the 87. I used to buy it every single year because I was so enthralled with that thing, you know?
Well, yeah, Sparky, our fraternity brother, said it best earlier. Who back in the day didn't have a Guinness Book of World Record on the back of their toilet for reading? Everybody had
it was
one.
Like an encyclopedia or a thesaurus.
Yeah, random stuff.
Which we had on site, and just in case. We did have a thesaurus sitting on the table. People are like,
Roger.
So, why anybody that knows anything about this, please chime in and let's try to get to the bottom of this if we really know, and who if anybody knows someone that's involved in their organization too, because this is a travesty.
I mean, if somebody told me I had to pay $500 or $1,000, like that's something we'll raise. That makes sense. I got to put my name in there. I get it. You know, promotional, like
Bubba will send us a check for that. Come
16 grand.
It's insane.
They've lost their mind.
Look, we're going to be watching. We will periodically search it, and more importantly, we're going to depend on y'all. You see that someone claims that they have the world record. I want to see the video. We want to see the video evidence of this. We want to see how long it is, and if we need to crank the damn live stream right back up and do this again, don't you think that we won't break this thing again? We'll break our own world record, but until it's proven, who the hell can?
I'm calling Anna right now. I'm getting the passcode for the PayPal account. It's okay. We're just going to go ahead and get it on the books. We'll argue about it later.
Oh,
hey, Anna, JR, call me back. Bye.
I knew that was going to be a good phone call.
I knew it would. Yeah, so that ought to.
I'm just thinking resources. Bubba, he probably won't give us a check. Ooh, we'll see if we can get the password. Anyway, but no, I kid. But that's ridiculous. You know, you put in all this hard work. It's official. It's legit. Anyway, the saga will continue on this. I can argue. I want to squeeze something right now. I'm so mad about it.
But it may be exactly, you know, like, all right, so many good things are born from adversity. And when things happen to you in your life and you look around, where's the opportunity? And that's what you have to see. Like suddenly it was like 16 grand. Where's the opportunity? And I think we may have an opportunity here to become something a little bit more than just a podcast and a show. We may be, you know, like we may become the people's champion and the people's representative. You've got a record out there, and I bet we could take down so many of their records if everybody had to pay that kind of money to get in there. There's probably so many guys that could and gals that could beat those records that want to have a forum and a place to be able to put it. We may be like the new, you know, whatever it is, whatever came on top of Napster or whatever, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, think about Twitter. I mean, MySpace was first.
Yes, MySpace. Yeah, they may be the MySpace, we may be the dang Twitter.
Absolutely.
With Elon Musk.
We just keep reinventing ourselves and hang out with Elon and all that fun stuff. Hey, because when I don't know what the fastest anyone's ever eaten a chicken wing was, but Michael Bonner, another one of our fraternity, but he got that. That's in the book.
I'd put him up against anybody.
Wow. No chicken wing
Okay. I mean, there it is. And you know what? If we don't know, then we can set it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only one way.
We'll start looking at their records. You can look at them online. We'll just start taking them down one at a time. Just
taking them down. That's how we do it. That's how we do
it. It could be fun.
Taking them down like all these people who had negative things to say about the attempted assassination of a former president. I'm glad everybody's getting exposed that said stupid stuff when that was all going down.
No joke, dude. No joke, man. I'll tell you what, though. Any kind of world record promotion, I want to only do it at Props Brewery. I'm not lying, dude. That place was unbelievable, like we've talked about, but just shout out to everybody there.
Big thanks.
Everybody that helped us. Just Nate, GM Joe.
GM
Michelle,
Joe was out there, boots on the ground that morning.
Wesley.
Sports System Adversity. Nate was in Boston. He just got back from Iceland. He's coaching me through it on the phone. Michelle, everybody up here was just helping us grind through this thing and get it all figured out. So
the place looked phenomenal on camera.
Man,
I mean, it just looked like a great setup. I've never been there. I will be there soon to hang out, but it looked like a amazing.
It's even better than you think. It's even
better. I never knew it had that big yard and how
out
front when y'all were showing the stuff. I'm like, wow, this place is huge.
It is
massive. I'm like, where's a piece of property that big untouched where y'all live?
Beautiful Hammock Bay. Yeah, there ain't one there.
Enjoy it now. It'll be condos one day probably. So
I know, right?
But anyway, yeah, that's awesome. And so let's go with that. We know that we got our internet sleuths on this Guinness Book of World Record thing.
Yeah.
So we go into wrestling.
Yes.
I had a great time wrestling. Did we have a special guest announcer for wrestling? Wesley? Did Wesley come in and help call some matches?
Oh, yes. Westicles. Westicles came in. That's what he goes by. Wesley Westicles. He comes in, and I tell you what, just like those girls that came in to save the day for a minute, just like,
perfect
Amanda,
timing.
Tammy, and Michelle came in with the cloths like where we needed. We were done when we got there. Like we cooled down. I went there. I literally went in the bathroom, stuck my head under the sink, was just running water over the back of my head, and just we only had like 30, 40 minutes. Had to take everything down, take everything in the car,
down,
break everything down, reset up at another table. But we already had the tables saved, so we just had to go over there and now plug in over there, which was pretty simple. That part was pretty easy. We had to take the other stuff down, and so we get there and we're going and we're talking, but we're just kind of enjoying the moment. We're just going to let it play out. We're just going to say a few things because we're just gassed.
Yeah.
And then
we're not going to actually commentate. We're not going to give you play-by-play.
No.
We're not going to embarrass ourselves.
See, if you'd have been here, that would have been your specialty.
That would have been,
collar and elbow tie up. Oh, off the ropes, big boot. Oh, hip toss.
That's what we needed.
I think you and Wesley together would just be absolutely phenomenal.
I would have walked away and Corn Dog would have reappeared had that happened.
But kudos, Wesley, man. He popped in there because Amanda walks up and said, hey, have you heard him back here? Like, dude, because he was back there behind us, like 2 or 3, 4 rows, sitting in chairs, just doing it by himself with his girlfriend, and Amanda was sitting there just out loud. He was just doing that by himself, for himself. And it was like,
that's totally what I would have done.
And so we went and got him and brought him in the chair, and then he just absolutely took over.
Magic
never shut up. Never shut his mouth. He had something to say about everything. It was so good. The horror, the
animosity, and here comes the devil.
The
devil incarnate himself, and he's going against Spider-Man, and it's just off the top turnbuckle.
It was a 4-man match, and it was like, it looks like Spider-Man has aligned himself with none other than the devil.
Oh, wow. I love it.
I've listened to I've watched
We need to have Westicles on, and let's do a wrestling episode sometime.
Oh, my God,
yeah. He's good. He's the brewer right here, too. He brews here, too, as well. Yes, man, yeah. So
Well, Nick, I want to plan on coming over at some point since Tiggy got to do it. I got to do it too. I want to come over to Props Brewery in Hammock Bay, beautiful Hammock Bay, Florida, and do a live podcast with you. Maybe Westicles could show up to that. We can do a wrestling podcast. But sometime before this summer's over, the next time I got a week or two off, Sharice and I will come over and stay at Justin's Beach House, and I'm going to Uber out to Hammock Bay, and we're going to get plowed and cut a podcast. I can't wait, man. That's awesome.
Tiggy's gonna get in the car and make that little 5-hour drive right back on over there. So let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's
do
it.
So I think the one of the many shining lights throughout the day was that help came in many forms, but it always showed up when you needed it.
It did. That's very well said. Yes,
very well said.
With between your ladies, the staff at Props, our junior correspondents, senior correspondents, the staff there, just everyone pitching in when they needed, the 12U softball team coming in clutch to help the Tigs Bits podcast see this thing through from beginning to end, and we couldn't just lay up and you take the foul and we won the game. We still got to go shoot the free throw and get the wrestling event and conclude the night. Bravo on everyone for helping out. I wasn't there to receive the help, but from afar, I want to say thank you to everyone who helped these two fine gentlemen make our first annual cornhole event a major, major success. And I know you guys are tired right now, but we're going to take a week or two off of this thing, and we're going to start planning next year's. I know you guys are.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. No. Well, I don't know how long it will be before we have to plan something else at Props. If we were going to do something this damn weekend, I'd turn around and go back. I mean, it's just the setup is so good there. It's just conducive to, like, you can do whatever you want. You can be out of the weather too.
Right.
Not really with the cornhole toss, but
it really is.
Maybe, but everything else you can.
One of the many sweet things about there is
it's very versatile.
It's a versatile venue. Well, and I was going to say that one of the beautiful things about there is you're talking about the Florida Panhandle, baby. We can be there November, December, January, and it might be 75 degrees. And it's not seasonal. You ain't got to close up shop. I mean, we can be there in January and could have good weather. So maybe that's what. The aim fall, spring, because here in South Alabama in the Panhandle, we get a month or so on the front and the back of summer where the weather's just perfect.
Yes, for sure. One thing, we did discuss whenever we wrapped this up and we were making our laps back and forth, hauling our gear back to the car, never again will we have a middle of July outdoor event. But we knew this. It's
special. It is special.
But it was a good time to align. It was Props' 1 year anniversary. That wrestling was going on. It was just a good time to do it. It was a little bit of misery for that 29-second clip. It was worth every single bit of it for that 29-second clip. And then there's a ton more that are coming too. There's a lot of fun moments. We met a snake. We met multiple dogs. Wesley's girlfriend has a snake. I think his name was Jeff, if I remember right. Unbelievable day. Just a lot of fun out there. And then that wrestling, man, it was just incredible wrestling they were doing. It was just so fun. The last two matches, girls are stapling dollar bills onto each other with carpet staplers.
It's crazy. You staple guns, man, into their stomach. Somebody was trying to tell me that was tape. I said, it was not tape. The fans were coming up out of the crowd, handing them dollars. She was taking the dollar with a staple gun and stapling it on her belly. Like, we watched it.
One fell off and you could see the blood. It was.
Oh, yeah. I'll send y'all some clips. Yes. I got a friend who was a video editor, a filmographer, works for DDP, but turned independent wrestler who he specializes in death matches and hardcore matches. God. And the stuff they do is absolutely insane. Like, I've done fake wrestling on the bus when we used to get drunk on the bus and wrestle, and I would take my belt buckle and try to rub my forehead, and they're like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm trying to get some color." So I was wanting to make myself bleed, but I did not, old school Dusty Rhodes style. Color. They think I was crazy. We're wrestling on the bus going down the road in the middle of the night,
No one watching but y'all.
But
trying to get some color.
But Nathan Mowry, my friend who does this deathcore wrestling, man, yeah, just like you're saying, the staples and the barbed wire and the glass and the tacks on the thing and flaming table. I mean, just all of the extreme stuff, which is not really my favorite form of wrestling.
It's too much, a little bit.
It is. That was what was good about the other night. It wasn't super extreme that way. It was more, it was traditional.
It's like ECW kind of started that whole thing, and then the Attitude Era and all that. I like old Power Pro Wrestling, but there's it's worth watching. Hell, I mean it's good.
Dude,
I don't
want
to watch just
I would
that.
have been fine with it.
It still gives you the, like, when you see the staple come out in the blood, you're like, oh, that really's blood. That's real. You can't fake that.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, really?
Well, I've even seen one. Think how scary, you both being fathers, think how scary this one is. They had the Lego match where they poured Legos on the ring. You got to wrestle while trying to stand on them Legos. Could you imagine?
God.
What kind of psycho does that, right?
Oh, my God. Yeah,
psycho thinks up that match. That's when you're at the Booker's match, and they're like, all right, we're going to have one match where y'all are going to get hit by semi-trucks. All right, the next match, you're going to jump off this 60-foot thing on a flaming table. The next match, you got to do a match walking on a mat full of Legos. Like, all right, now. We done took it too far with the damn Legos now. The flaming fire truck, one thing. The Legos, no way.
No way. Have y'all seen that thing with Al Snow? You remember Al Snow when he would be with Mankind and all that back in the day? They've got this documentary on Netflix.
Yeah, on Ohio Valley Wrestling. Yeah,
OVW. Yeah, it's
great.
Awesome. Yeah, they get
Real
into
deal.
it.
Yes,
they get pretty wild. But independent wrestling is just fun. It's just those characters were out there walking around as we were setting all this up throughout the day. We had no idea that that was who they were. You could tell with a couple of them with their hair and all that. Yeah, that person's probably a performer, just based off that.
Right.
But I'll tell you one thing that isn't fake about wrestling. It's that damn ring, brother.
It's harder than you think.
Cow.
Everybody thinks it's a trampoline. It ain't, is it?
It ain't
2
a
by 6
trampoline.
boards
It was 2 by 6
stacked side by
boards.
side on a
And a
steel
mat,
frame.
and a piece
thin
of
little
canvas.
mat. Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Crazy. It's crazy.
I mean, it
and those ropes. Hit the ropes a few times.
That's what the guy was telling us. He said, dude, these ropes are worse than anything.
It'll burn you up. When I was
awful. They're so hard.
12, 14 years old, we had a friend in high school, John Leonard, whose father, rest his soul, Big John Leonard, was just a guy from our community, you know, coached ball with my dad, and we were growing up and all that kind of stuff. Little John, his son, was my brother's age, but he was an independent wrestler on the weekends. So me and my buddy Easton, my best friend in high school, we load up and we go. Somebody takes us down. We might have rode with John and his mom. We go down to the Prattville Armory in Prattville, Alabama, to watch Big John and his tag team partner, Delicious Dwayne, known as Bad Company, take on the Rednecks or whoever they were wrestling that night. I did get to see Bullet Bob Armstrong and Steve Armstrong wrestle that night. And it was a classic
where this
match.
love of wrestling started for you.
Yeah. Dude, I've loved wrestling since.
Makes sense.
My granddad took me to see a WWF match in about 86 at the Jackson Coliseum. So I'd have been about 7 years old. Took me and my cousin Scott, who's my age, and I liked it before then, watching on TV with my aunt. She was a big Hulk Hogan guy, Jake the Snake. Ted DiBiase, $1 Million Man, lived in Jackson, Mississippi, so we'd see him at the truck stop restaurant every now and then, late at night, come back from circle dirt track racing that my granddad liked. And so I liked wrestling, but then my granddad took me, and I'm 7, and I'm 6, 8 rows back in the middle, and these guys come to the ring, and I remember Hercules Hernandez. He's the first. He had the big chains on. He's just huge. He comes down. I think I'm looking at the Incredible Hulk. These were real life superheroes.
Right.
To a 7-year-old in 1986 who liked comic books and superheroes, wrestling was real life superheroes to us.
Yes,
for sure.
And here comes Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Jake the Snake Roberts, Coco Beware, and they got the animals. I mean, it was just I was just hooked ever since. Yeah, I mean, it was just too much. But that night, I was saying that at the local event in Prattville at the Armory, we watched Big John and his partner. Their tag team was called Bad Company, wrestle these other guys. And I remember when they came out and they were announced, and it was like, Delicious Dwayne. I'm like, delicious, more like disgusting. And that's all I could think of as 12. I didn't know how to say curse words. But it was the classic. They had the little old granny sit inside, and the good guys would come by, and she'd hug and give them a kiss. The bad guys would come by, and she'd try to whack them with her purse. I mean, it was just classic.
That's
independent small town. Yeah, it was great. It was great.
That's what I told our friend Kimber, who wrestled the other night, when we saw her backstage after we were putting some stuff up. They were loading up. I was like, well, Kimber, you came out and you threw some cornhole tosses with us and did a little interview. We talked a little bit about everything. And then my God, you came out and you're just so mean and like what?
Angry, it all turned.
What happened?
Saved up all that energy just for the ring and saved it.
She did, man.
He wasn't not living the gimmick. You can live the gimmick. You can choose two paths in a career. You can live the gimmick like Flair, like many others, or you can not live the gimmick like I've always heard several. I don't know these guys personally. This is just me trying to be a smart mark. People like Lex Luger, who wanted to be a football player, or Goldberg. These guys, they didn't live the gimmick. Out when they left wrestling, they weren't still a wrestler. But then there are people like Ric Flair and when they left, they're still them. They
what
live
you
the
see
gimmick.
is what you get.
They can't separate it. Yep.
I feel like I do that. I feel like I'm in this weird spot in my life where I'm like, do I live the gimmick? Do I ease off the gimmick? It's not really a gimmick. A gimmick, all it really is, unless it's some fake get up or something else. It's like Stone Cold says, but it's just your natural personality dialed up to 10 with some flair to it. It's just
that's it.
Amped up with a free platform where you can't get in trouble and you can do whatever you want. And people will like it. And you might get paid for it if you do it well enough.
That's it.
So, and speaking of, and I don't know if we want to get off that. A couple things I had noted down. I wanted to get to the Bubba section of our Bubba exclusive podcast here on the Bubba Arm Radio Podcast Network, which I love. I thought about this today. I may be one of the few Bubba fans, which I'm a full-blown Bubba fan now. I love their content. I don't watch the radio show because I don't get up till 9 o'clock Central Time, and the show's over when I get up. But I listen to all the podcasts now. So, I wonder how many people now are like me that know them more for podcasting than actual
that's a great
radio
point.
show.
Like a little
different terrestrial radio or stream the radio show in the mornings. Hey, let us know if anybody else is with me on that, or am I the only newbie here? And I thought it was funny because they got rained out of their event. They told it on the podcast today. But they go. Jelly Roll goes and plays a show around the corner at a little bar, and Hogan announces him on stage. And Hogan apparently has a new beer. Hogan has a new beer, the All-American Lager or whatever.
I hadn't tried it yet.
So they're talking. So apparently today they're trying to drink beer while Bubba's in his chair. They're trying to sneak around and drink beer, and of course Bubba sniffs them all out. Of course, trying to sneak around in his studio, his facility, as he says. But Bubba actually tries one on air today and all that stuff. But I hate their event got rained out. But it was funny talking about wrestling and that. And Hogan's got a beer. Everybody's got a beer. Stone Cold's Broken Skull IPA and his American Lager are good. Now, they said Hogan's tastes like a Miller Lite, which I don't like Miller Lite, so I'm sure I wouldn't like that.
Same.
But
Jim Joe did not like it. He bought a 12-pack and gave me one. Asked if I tried it yet. And I put it in my pocket that night. Took it home. It's in the fridge still. And he told me the next day. He said, I didn't think it was that good. Yeah, he gave it
But I love, and I noticed this too. I love the nicknames on the Bubba show. They can Spongy. That's what I always think. If I meet these guys, what am I going to call them? Spongy Baby. Mr. Love Sponge, Sponjo. I've got my own nickname for one of my favorite people on the podcast, which probably a lot of people. He seems like a laid back, cool guy. As Lummy, I call him Lummy Killmeister. After Lummy Killmeister, the famous
hell yeah, dude.
But Lummy, you're welcome.
Hell yeah.
Kick-ass nicknames.
That's awesome.
Seth's last name is Kushner, but I get just cause Kush. I'm like, I just tell everybody call me Kush.
That's
how
he's
already got a built-in name.
Call me Kush.
Seth, which speaking of, listening today, Seth's going through some stuff. This and that. Everybody's giving him a hard time, and I know he's dealing with people online and this and that stuff. I love Seth. Seth's one of the best things that happened to that show since I've been around listening to it. He's done a great job with the podcast. I'll say this like I tell entertainers, Seth, and I know you don't care. You're just you go through things, ups and downs, ebbs and flows of life. But man, don't even look at the damn comments. No, it's part of your job. But half those people who are saying crap don't even watch or listen. They're just saying something to have something negative and hope somebody argues back with them.
Yes, so, just trying to start a fight, just trying to pick something.
And I hope I'm sucking into this, and it's all a work. The whole way around, the whole thing is a work and everything's hunky-dory. But if not, just know we love you. We couldn't do without you, Seth. I think you keep the wheels on the train rolling round and round over there in the radio show and the podcast for sure.
He definitely does.
So I just want to get that out there while we were talking about stuff. And I thought about that, about nicknames. Everybody's got a handle or a nickname. So and do you call somebody strictly by their handle, or could you make a nickname off of someone's handle?
Oh, I
mean, if their handle is,
I went
pretend their handle is their real name.
Barney to Brantley to, I mean, it can. I think it can move.
Well, it's like, I keep going back to Flair, but it's like the Nature Boy Ric Flair. So his nickname's the Nature Boy, but we call him Nate. You know, I mean, he's still got other names. You know.
Oh yeah, you can work within that. You can definitely work I think as long as it's a spinoff, as you go on either way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Right.
Yep, makes sense.
I'd be cool with Corn Dog Barney just eventually turning into dog. Be fine.
Big dog would be better, huh?
What's up? Yeah. Well, I've got a big dog. My buddy Gator Mill works. His dad, Chad Foster's dad, he's big dog. There can only be one big dog. So
big dog.
Big dog Tigs. Woof.
I know. You know, I had a few other things I want to touch on real quick before I forget or we run out of time today. I want to give a big shout out and congratulations to my former boss and dear friend, Mr. John Ryan Party, country music extraordinaire. He and his wife Summer just had their second daughter yesterday or earlier today. As we recorded this podcast.
I saw that.
So congrats, Junior and Summer, on baby number 2. Party of 4 in full effect.
Hell yeah, it is.
Can't wait to meet her, but congrats. Looks like everybody's doing well. I sent him a text, and he I know he's got 1 million of them, so I didn't want to long, but he's just like, thank you, brother, kind of deal. So just wanted to put that out there. Y'all say a prayer for them. Hope everybody
that's awesome,
good
man.
in their world.
Yeah,
I can't
man.
wait
Good
to
for
meet them. And I don't know if any of y'all saw. I know I talked to several people about the show this past weekend at 2 of our concerts. One in Dewey Beach, Delaware, and our other one in Pennsylvania. I took my trusty Bubba koozie on stage with me and got a little pre-show action. I did a little thing. I pointed around and it's like, does anybody know Bubba? Anybody want to hang out with Sponjo? And everybody, and you could see a few people like, well, not a few, a bunch. Hell, there was a lot of people, but everybody was ready to get it up. So I got a couple shots from the stage with the thing for the podcast or for their socials and ours as well. I just thought it'd be a cool shot. But it was funny, while we were in Dewey Beach, Delaware, I sat down for an interview with a friend of mine, Kurt Burdella, who works for, I don't want to mess the name of the new channel up. It's one of the news channels, one of the big-time news channels. I don't want to mess this up and say the wrong network because they all changed, but he's worked for several over the years.
Big-time news network. Big time.
It's one of the big – it's not CNN or Fox. It's one of those type, though.
Yep, gotcha.
So he's got a new series coming out, Kurt's Country, this summer because he's a big country music fan. He's from San Diego originally. He fell in love with country music years ago, kind of like Marty. He was at a Eric Church show and fell in love with it. So he's got a couple shows come out already, but he's got a new one, and he asked Justin and I to come on it. During my section of the interview, he asked about the podcast. I tell him about the Tigs Bits. I talk about the Bubba Army. So hopefully be looking for that this summer when it comes out.
Is that Newsmax? Is that Newsmax?
Maybe so.
Okay.
We'll
anyway,
definitely
I could be wrong.
We're definitely going to be sharing it whenever it comes out.
I'll know for sure before when it comes out because we'll make sure to clip it up. But I made sure to give lots of love for the Bubba Army and
That's
Bubba
awesome,
and everyone in the Tigs Bits podcast. And that was just random. So I want to put that plug in there, obviously. But I asked him. I did the what do we call it? Little bits of knowledge.
The little bits of controversy. You hit him. You hit him with the question.
Yeah, I said, I got picked up by Bubba the Love Sponge. He goes, oh, I said, you know who that is? I said, hell yeah, Bubba the Love Sponge. He's in the NWO. He's a big new, he's worked in that in politics for years as his main job. He's a political guy. He works on stuff for that side of the world. But he knew who Sponjo was, knew he was in the NWO, the whole deal, the show. He was like, that's great. So I thought that was cool. And while I was saying, the camera guy was back there bobbing his head. He looked around and said, I love Bubba. I was like, hey, it's a small world,
That's awesome, dude.
It was
That's
pretty
great,
cool.
Dude.
So I felt the Army love way off and far stretches from home this weekend, and it really was cool. And I was going to say that too. If anyone ever, any of the armies, ever in any of the towns we play in, go to justinmooremusic.com, look at our calendar. If we're ever close to you, come see me. Come to a show. Let's have a beer. Let's take a picture and send it to Sponjo and Seth and those guys. And I'd love to see you at a show because I know there's some there. I don't think about beforehand like, hey, anybody, Bubba? Okay, let's go chit chat. Let's chop it up.
Yeah.
But I think that'd be fun sometime though.
That would be
Hell
awesome.
yeah,
That's a
dude.
great idea, dude.
And
And
the
they're
Bubba
everywhere,
Army's-
and they are spread
they're
all over the
everywhere.
dang place.
Yeah, I know.
And-
Well, the ones that listen to our show are chiming in, and thank you, by the way, everyone around America and the world who
Yes.
chimes in to say you're listening from South Dakota, Rhode Island, wherever you're at. Thank you. That's very cool. We get a kick out of that when we see those.
It blows my mind, dude. We really are totally everywhere in the United States. People listen from everywhere. Get check-ins from everywhere. It's unbelievable that we're 3 Southern boys down here in the South that literally have a nationwide reach. I mean, big
really,
thanks
worldwide
to Bubba.
Worldwide.
Internationally known.
Worldwide. Yeah, no, it's true. I need to go down.
Talk on the microphone.
On the last microphone, or on the last microphone, the last podcast I was on before this one, when Justin and I did our podcast, even after ours dropped out of the ratings and rankings here in America, we were the #1 music podcast in Qatar for like months. And I always thought, is there like an army base there or a military base there and there's like 40 guys listening to our show or something? Because no way the masses of Qatar are enthralled in our country music podcast. But
Dude,
somehow every week when I would get the thing that you get now, Brantley, it would come back and we're like, you're still the #1 the episode and the #1 overall show in music genre in Qatar. And I'm like, that is so unique,
we made it.
interesting.
That's wild, dude. That's crazy.
So international people, chime in from wherever you're from.
That's
I know
right.
across the pond we've got people listening to the show and more and more coming.
Man.
And yeah, like you said, Tiggy, thank you, Sponjo, for putting us over and giving us a platform to shine. I think it's been a great ride so far. We got many, many, many more of these to go. Bubba was talking about today starting to design the ring for the event in January, and I'm like, it'd be pretty cool to have one of those.
Man, that'd be the next level, wouldn't it? To get a ring,
take it
and
all
get
to
the
another
invite?
level.
Wow,
Wow.
Bark
I can't even
and a
put myself
ring.
in
That'd
that
be crazy.
space.
No, man.
I mean,
amazing.
Blasey, I think it's obvious. We got to give a shout out to JR for sucking it up and making. I mean, I think everybody listening can tell. Maybe we're spent. I think me and you about. I didn't think that you and I could ever run out of it. I think we've about run out. I think we might have run out of it.
Well, that's
over the
fine. It was
weekend.
good. It worked out right. We broke the whole first part of the whole situation down, everything we experienced, and he came in on the back end. You know what I mean? Close
Just
things
like
up.
all the
That's how it
theme of the
works.
weekend.
Absolutely,
That's right.
dude.
Help.
When you needed him, he showed up. Here coming.
That's right.
We
Just
show
when you
up
needed it.
for you. Yep, just
That's
like
what
the
it's all
Bubba
about.
Army shows up for us. We show up.
That's it. That's what we do. Well, look,
And two, I've been in the entertainment industry for 21 years. This is y'all's first week, so I mean, there's going to be some progression that has to happen before you get your
Folks,
dexterity up and can handle it long term. I mean, I do 100 shows a year,
so much
all over the country.
scenes.
I mean, I get it. So, but you guys will be all right.
First week, he said. First week,
Dude, I wish that I could have been. I really wish that we could have been a bird on the wall in the tour bus and some of the conversations you had while this was going on. Are like, you're not going to believe what my buddies are doing right now. And,
I wanted to be there so bad.
I know you did. I know you did, but I know.
But I had
too,
a blast
like,
in the comments with our Bubba Army family.
It was
great.
it was awesome seeing JR chime in and then coming in, which right whenever it rained, it was perfect. We had 3 minutes of just a sprinkle and it was perfect timing. So yeah, dude, it couldn't have worked out any better. Thanks to the Bubba Army again. Thanks to everybody. Appreciate y'all.
Showed out. Hey, I got to point something out before we go. I know we're wrapping up. Right now, as I'm looking at you, you look so much like Corn Dog Barney. You're so purple right now. Like you got purple down here on the beach the other day. Even the kids said you were purple. They said, you're not turning red, you're turning purple. I was like, of course, because he's Cornhole Barney.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Yeah, we were in the pool. I got in the pool and shirt off, and it looked like I still am wearing my shirt, because I've got the old farmer's stand. But Murphy looked at me and he went, "Hey, Tigs, you're purple, man. You look purple." I was like, and I did, dude. I did. I'd lathered up with sunscreen, but I get red, and then I get just this darker shade of red, and which is purple. So that's where I'm. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, that's those genes. We can't outrun them, baby. That's
can't outrun them, baby.
From your
Great
heritage.
Beach
that's
strikes again.
Scandinavian gene that's still in your blood. It's a natural defense system when you get too much sun.
That's
We're
right.
supposed to live in icy worlds. Come from Vikings.
That's exactly right.
That's it.
Exactly right.
That's crazy.
folks.
Well, I got one more thing, and I know we got to get out of here. We'll be back live this week. Y'all stay tuned.
Yeah.
Tiggy will get a nap tonight, come up for air tomorrow, and let us know when we're going to do the live thing. He'll have some graphics out on the socials for everybody to see, to give y'all a heads up to get on the room and get ready for the show. It's going to be fun.
Yep.
I don't know who we'll have in to chit-chat with us this week, but I'm sure it'll be fun. And then y'all stay tuned each and every week here on the Tigs Bits podcast. We have TV shows. We've got a Bubba exclusive podcast. We got a live podcast. We're doing content on our own. We're doing content together. We've got senior, junior correspondents. We've got wives and girlfriends and everybody else and fraternity brothers that will help. So this thing's just a whole bundle of fun. So y'all make sure to stay on the train. We're going to take it all the way to the house. But before I had one more thing, and I used to do this some, and it was always my recommendation of the week. You know, here's an album. Here's a new something that came out. Here's a new movie. Here's my recommendation this week. Going off, we talked about there's a five. The fifth episode of this show just came out this week. It's a podcast. I know we all have a lot of podcasts to listen to. I do too, but you have to fit this one in there, about 40-something minutes a pop. But it's called Murder on Music Row. It's done by the Tennessean, the Nashville, Tennessee newspaper. It's been around for centuries. It's on an 80s murder case in Nashville that happened on Music Row. Coincidentally, around the same time this song came out that was written and then later done by George Strait and Alan Jackson. But if you want to know some of the grimy inside business of music business and what used to go on and what kind of still goes on and how crazy it is and why I tell people do something else, I'm not saying I've had to deal with any of the things they talk about in this podcast, but this just gives you a little bit of the idea of what kind of business this business is. It made me think about this was the Guinness Book of World Records deal. This shady stuff.
Yeah.
Go check this podcast out. Like I said, the fifth episode just dropped a few days ago, but it's called Murder on Music Row. Let me know what you think. You guys, I don't want y'all to check it out too, because it is really
for sure
intriguing on stuff. Especially to me, it's in our business, and I know that some of these people they're talking to and some of the people from afar, but it is absolutely mind blowing when you to someone who had no idea this is how music works, kind of like us, we had no idea how world records worked. When you hear this, you'll think, well, that's kind of what's going on with the Guinness. It's a payola deal, and how common it was. And also, you see all the stuff in media now with P. Diddy and the Epstein and all the crazy stuff that's going on, and all these pedos finally getting, some finally getting exposed. You know, how creepy and dirty and just disgusting. Some, because not everybody in any of these industries is sleazeballs. There are some, not all, but how sleazy it can be. This podcast puts into perspective the music industry and how close that all goes together, and it's it's scary, it's interesting at the same time.
I'm definitely gonna check that thing out. For
y'all
sure.
check that out. Yeah, for sure.
Hell yeah, I like it. All right, boys.
Yep,
that's a good one. Good recap. Thanks everybody once again. Y'all go check it out. If you hadn't seen this thing, it's worth the 4-hour watch. If y'all are bored, you don't have any content to watch, go back and watch it. I've watched probably an hour and a half of it just sitting there, and then the next thing I know, I'm like, oh yeah. And I was there and I was miserable, but it looks better watching it on camera. So,
way better. You're not near as hot. Don't feel near as bad. It's great.
That's it. Man. That's it. Well, look, we're going to go get some rest. We'll have a little more pep in our step. Thursday night, if this podcast is released on Thursday, you listen to us. Go back. We're going to be live tonight on Thursday. If it comes out on Friday, then go back Thursday. You wanted to know, JR? Thursday night at 7 p.m. we will be going live because you can't tomorrow night. It's already Tuesday. So that's what we're doing.
I'm going to have to take a rain check then, boys. I got family in town. They just booked something at OA for 7 o'clock dinner reservations. So
I understand.
I did not know. I would have tried to
maybe you can chime in and slip in via mobile phone at some point, but no big deal. No big deal. We got this Bubba exclusive out. That's the main thing.
We'll be good.
Yeah, we can handle it. For sure.
All right. Thank you, Bubba Army. Thank you, Bubba, Sponjo, Seth, everybody over there at the Bubba Network that helps us get this out to everybody all week. And thanks, everybody, for listening. Tigs Bits. Everybody loves Tigs Bits.
Damn right.
Everybody loves Tigs Bits.